Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with another action figure review. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means, time for AEW Dynamite on TNT. For the second week in a row, there's a suspiciously lackluster card on paper, but I've got a feeling there's some big surprises in store, especially with the super intriguing Arcade Anarchy match in the main event. So, I guess we'll just have to see. But first, if you're new here, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more pro wrestling and action figure content. Now, we're headed into my custom dailies place, so for a recap and review, let's take it over to the action figures. Dynamite opens with a throwback to the days of TNA as Christian Cage takes on Frankie Kazarian. They wrestle a classic old school match as Cage proves he's still got it. Kazarian gets in a bunch of near falls, but the returning Christian wins with an unprettier, now called the kill shot. Darby Allin says the real truth is, Matt Hardy's body is breaking down. Big Money Matt is just a reflection of all his insecurities. Hardy blazed trails in his heyday. Now, he just tries to buy himself new friends, but Darby doesn't care about money, so Matt is gonna have to earn his respect. I don't give a crap what anyone says, Darby Allin is so freaking cool, and these artsy black and white promos are amazing. That ending shot of the TNT Championship in front of flames, mwah! But the best part was that song playing in the background. It made me want to jump in a mosh pit and rock out. We get a video package from Jade Cargill saying the rest of the women's locker room is scared of her and jealous because she supposedly brings in more money. Yeah, okay. She closes out by saying she's that bitch, so you know she's serious. Students of the Nightmare Factory, who have trained under both Cody and QT Marshall, surround the ring for an exhibition match between their coaches. JR points out that only Cody receives an entrance, and in typical fashion, it's over the top as he's joined by Dustin and Billy Gunn. This plays into QT's narrative about always playing second fiddle to the youngest Rhodes brother. Arn Anderson is introduced as the special guest enforcer. Despite the tension, both men shake hands before the bell. QT works over the injured shoulder through a commercial break. When they come back, Cody is in control, but true to his word, he keeps letting up and holding back. I can definitely see how Cody's laissez-faire attitude would come off as condescending or patronizing, and I guess QT agrees because after Cody helps his opponent back into the ring, QT turns around and decks referee Bryce Remsburg in the face. He stands on stage with a look of mild remorse. Suddenly, Aaron Solo hits Dustin with a chair as Nick Camarado and Anthony Ogogo attack the Gun Club and Lee Johnson. QT steps on Johnson's head, bashes Arn Anderson's arm over a barricade, then pile drives Dustin onto the steel steps. But, as he goes to break Cody's arm with a chair, Red Velvet rushes out and stops him. Later on, Dasha tries to ask Red Velvet why she helped Cody, but she's attacked by Jade Cargill. Nick Camarado has been making waves on Dark recently due to his size. Aaron Solo is a staple of the show as well, and was previously engaged to Bayley from WWE. And Anthony Ogogo is a legitimate Olympic boxer who won a bronze medal before deciding to train as a pro wrestler at the Nightmare Factory. He's been doing commentary on Dark for the last few months, and always makes it a point to praise QT Marshall whenever he can. So in my opinion, this is a great way of bringing all these guys up to Dynamite with the safety net that a faction, especially one with a veteran leader, provides. All Ego Ethan Page joins Scorpio Sky for an interesting synchronized promo. They say they're tired of watching guys who aren't on their level get opportunities before them. So from now on, they're not waiting, they're taking whatever they want. That starts with their match against the Seidel brothers next week on Elevation. Jon Moxley is still pissed about the Good Brothers breaking Eddie Kingston's ankle 2 weeks ago. He's also not sure what to think about the Young Bucks helping him out, so he's in a foul mood and looking to take it out on Cesar Bononi tonight. Lately, the massive Benone has been running with Pretty Peter Avalon, the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth, and Arn Anderson lookalike J.D. Drake.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?
The faction made sense before the inclusion of Drake. Either way, like the guys from earlier, they mostly perform on Dark, so I'm sure they appreciate the TV time. Moxley sells the big man's power offense through some restaurant-quality picture-in-picture before giving Nemeth a paradigm shift for trying to interfere. Mox counters a pump-handle slam into a reverse chokehold and wins by KO. Taz is with his team in some kind of lounge where he once again clarifies that everything is fine between them. Ricky Starks confirms that it felt like things were back to normal in their match on Dark last night, but Cage sees things differently and didn't appreciate Ricky stealing the pin. They have a brief stare down before Taz restores order. MJF is glad the cameras are rolling as he introduces the Pinnacle to their personal stylist. He also plans to bring in an interior decorator to help fix up their new locker room. But when he opens the bathroom door, Jericho, Sammy, Santana, and Ortiz are standing there. MJF tries to rush everyone out, but Jake Hager is blocking the door and punches Max in the mouth. A huge brawl ensues and spills out into the hallway, where Sammy smashes Spears' head into a door. Over in the trainer's room, Hager gives Wardlow a Uranagi through a massage table, while Ortiz dunks Cash Wheeler into an ice tub, and Santana uses a wooden chair leg to draw blood from Dax Harwood. Jericho and MJF are still fighting in the locker room, where La Champion goes schoolyard bully on Max by giving him a swirly before slamming him through the Pepsi cooler and dousing him with a little bit of the bubbly. Chris declares that it's their locker room again and hangs up an inner circle sign on the door. Alex Marvez tries to interview the Young Bucks before getting interrupted by Don Callis. He makes Nick and Marvez leave so he can talk to Matt alone. Don uses the same logic Kenny used last week and claims that the Bucks broke Omega's heart. He doesn't know how to get through to Matt, so he slaps him, but Matt barely responds. Don calls him pathetic and walks off. Next is Trios action as the Lucha Brothers with Laredo Kid take on the Good Brothers with Kenny Omega. Beforehand, Alex Abrahantes says that the Luchadors are coming for all of Kenny's gold. Sure enough, they start aggressive by attacking the heels before the bell. All I'll say about the match itself is the Lucha Bros are absolutely incredible. No human should be able to do the kind of things they do in a wrestling ring. It's truly mind-blowing. My only criticism is that the referee is useless in their matches since they quickly abandon all tag rules. Kenny finally wins with the One-Winged Angel on Laredo Kid. Moxley saunters out to confront Omega and the Good Brothers, but he's not alone. The Young Bucks also come out for a 3-on-3 stare down. Honestly, I thought they were going to turn heel and super kick Mox, but I'm glad they didn't. They aren't nearly as easy to hate as Omega, so I like them as babyfaces. Rebel conducts a fake interview with Britt Baker, who teases Thunder Rosa about the fact that her biggest win in AEW, their Lights Out match, wasn't sanctioned, so technically, it never happened. But don't worry, despite the loss, Baker still plans to lead the women's division into the future. The Hardy family joins the Bunny, and Vicky Guerrero joins Nyla Rose as they team up to take on Ty Conti, joined by the Dark Order, and the AEW Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. After Conti gets the hot tag and sends the Bunny to the outside, a massive fight breaks out between Dark Order and the Hardy family. They're all eventually taken out by back-to-back crossbodies to the outside from Ty and Shida, but in the end, the Bunny finds Shida's kendo stick, hits Ty with it, and then nails her finisher for the win. Jurassic Express cuts a promo ahead of their match against Bear Country next week. Jungle Boy compares it to Godzilla vs. Kong, which gets Marco heat with Luchasaurus over his brand new Kong tattoo. He has a great line where he claims it's just to remind him to beat that ass. The main event is the Arcade Anarchy match. There appear to be real working game cabinets around ringside, including fitting titles such as Killer Instinct, Primal Rage, and of course, Mortal Kombat. There's also Whack-A-Mole, an air hockey table, a claw machine, and even a prize wall containing weapons and a replica AEW World title. Remember, this all started when best friends accidentally destroyed Miro's wedding present to Kip and Penelope, so of course, Miro and Kip are joined by the blushing bride. Meanwhile, Orange Cassidy comes out to his new entrance music, Where's My Mind by the motherfucking Pixies. Once again, Tony Khan picks the perfect song and just buys the license so they can use it on TV. Brilliant. Cassidy tosses Kip onto the whack-a-mole, then appropriately enough, whacks him in the head with a mallet. Miro sets up a barricade and puts Charles through it. Later, Chuck dives off the Mortal Kombat game, then he and Cassidy beat up the Bulgarian with a kendo stick and trash can lid respectively. Chuck grabs a teddy bear off the prize wall, but it turns out to be full of Legos. Oh my god, that's even worse than thumbtacks. Unfortunately, Kip reverses and winds up powerbombing Chuck into them. After a beach break and an orange punch, Penelope saves Kip by grabbing Ref Aubrey, then she kicks Cassidy right in the oranges. Suddenly, from out of the claw machine, the galaxy's favorite alien, Chris Statlander, makes her triumphant return. She powerbombs Penelope off the apron and through the air hockey table, taking them both out. Miro drags the babyfaces past the arcade machines and towards the ramp when Sue pulls up in her minivan and drops off Trent, making his long-awaited return from injury. The reunited best friends gang up on the best man. He tries to literally throw the Mortal Kombat machine at Trent, but misses and ends up getting put through a table. Chuck pile drives Kip off the stage and scores the victory. They celebrate in the ring together for the first time in months, finally giving the people what they want with a big hug. There's an encore hug with Chris Statlander, then everyone gives an Orange Cassidy thumbs up to Trent's mom as the show goes off the air. Now that's how you send them home happy. I genuinely smiled at this. Okay, I'll admit the first half of that show was real heavy on the Dark references. If you don't watch Dark or follow its storylines and characters, then you may have gotten lost at times. Fortunately, I watch every week, and I thought it was a clever way of debuting a bunch of up-and-coming guys under the leadership of their real-life wrestling coach. This is all part of AEW's philosophy on developing talent for the long term, unlike WWE's over-reliance on stars of the past. As for the second half of the show, just wow. The Inner Circle striking back against Pinnacle, the Young Bucks officially rejecting Kenny and teaming with Moxley, and that main event. I'm sure people like Jim Cornette are going to tear it apart for the same eye-roll inducing reasons they always do. But I loved it, so go ahead and call me a filthy mark. It never slowed down, and they utilized the entire space to really make it feel like they were fighting in an arcade. Initially, I thought it would just be game cabinets. However, not only adding all the other games, but incorporating them into the match blew away those expectations. I also appreciated the comedy of using Legos and having Sue drop her kid off. In the end, this is exactly the kind of thing that draws me to AEW over WWE. There's no other way of putting it than, it's just more fun. Alright, that'll do it for AEW Dynamite on TNT. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I might build something over the weekend, but otherwise I'll be back next Thursday with another action figure review. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my mini golf challenge with Brittany, you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.